a new game. Apologies here. Just want to be able to see the stream on my right. How chat's looking. So this is the new intro art that we've done. We have a little thing going on where you can sort of predict what art or guess what art we base this on. If you're interested in that, we'll be updating in a couple weeks or next week with some credits to the artwork that we basically stole and redid with AI. Legally, of course, because it's all old Renaissance art that's Creative Commons, or art that was Creative Commons, but I felt like it gave it sort of better direction. A lot of times when you're doing generative art, it can get kind of lost in the weeds, and you can see some issues here still, but for the most part this gives it something to build off of. In my opinion, it looks a lot better than it used to, if you've seen the old one. So yeah, we're just gonna play through today, get 1,000 gold, trying to do as many little achievement guides as possible, and let's see what happens. I'm also going to be playing through the entirety of chapters 1 through 3. So you guys could, I mean, theoretically, you don't have to buy the game that way. You know, I know it's only 90 cents. I prefer you buy the game and play it yourself, but if you're more of a watcher on these story games, there you go. So, welcome to Wandering Wyrm Bar and Grill. This is Yeti. I'm going to go over here and turn our music on. We'll go with, it's a little loud, we'll go with that one. Just so you guys know, you can, a couple of these settings aren't really very well explained, but if you click this, you get tooltips now. So you can see these tooltips, this question mark. So it'll show you this stuff. I play with it off, because I developed the game and I know pretty much everything I'm clicking on. So there's that. And I already know what Yeti wants. He wants the steak. So we're gonna go ahead and cook that for him. You have to cook him a steak here, which is honestly one of the more restrictive parts of the game. And he also wants a fire wine. Just sort of let the game do the talking here. A perfect steak. We'll get that for you, Yeti. I have it right here. Might be a little cold, it's been waiting for you. The next person we get to meet after we complete our cooking tutorial. It's basically what Yeti does for us. This mysterious man, or question marks, but they reveal themselves pretty early on. We don't have to worry too much though, because just a few goblins down in the local dungeon. This guy is a little cocky, coming up to the bar. It's good to know I can stream. I was genuinely worried about that with my internet provider. Especially onto the store page. That's really cool. Love that feature of Steam. It's launch day, so I just want to give people an idea of what they're getting into, especially since this is pretty early access for me. I usually like to publish finished games, but this one's been worked on for a while, and I really just wanted feedback, and so we're releasing it at a pretty low price here, so that you guys can pick it up for less than $1, and if you have a free hour or so, give it a whirl, and hopefully leave us a review of some kind, either positive or negative, and we can take that feedback and work with it. So. Cain is one of my favorite characters. He's a child knight that's a little cocky. He wants to get his sister a necklace. And we are here just to maybe give him a little advice or serve him with some good food. So right away, I'm sorry, I gotta give this time to read. I've obviously read this dialogue 100 times, and I usually just kind of go quickly through it as I'm testing. But for the purposes of today, I'm going to take it slow. Alright, something befitting a victor. And an ale. We'll do 2 ales, how about that? Or 3 to get the most bang for our buck. I'm not sure, I think he prefers beer? No, he does not. Okay. That's unfortunate. I should have known that. His favorite drink is mead, I know that. So we're gonna make a boar meat. You can check recipes right here. But I have this one memorized. It's pretty easy. Also, you can just throw anything together to make dishes. I don't know if that's super clear in any of the videos, but you can just, like, I can make plated water. Make it into a dish. And there we have bland, poorly cooked water salad. A little water on a plate, or a salad board. Charcuterie board, really. So we'll toss that, but give him the dire boar. He likes it, and we keep going. It was a long night. I was up very late last night fixing the final elements to get it into place. I really wanted to go over all these characters and get rid of these fuzzy edges and just clean up the art a little bit, get them consistent, but I just felt there was a lot more soft locking issues actually in certain spots in the game that were more important to me, so went ahead and made the game playable first. We'll be doing art passes throughout the updates between 4 and 6, so you should see some more art, and we're still searching, and depending on the money we make, we will potentially replace all the AI-generated art with real human-made art. That's one of the things we have as a goal. You can view our itch page to see that as well. I should link the itch page on the Steam page, but You can look it up. It's Wandering Wyrm on itch. There's a demo for free if you want to play that demo. It's a little dated. You don't have to pay for the game then. You can still give it a try. Honestly, all traffic and all feedback helps. So, there we go. We got Kane. Kane a little drink, gave him some advice. He listened to us, and he decided to tell us that he really doesn't know what's going on. I wonder if it would help if y'all could see my face. Could set that up with NVIDIA. Time for Eve. One of our favorites here at Critical Sprite. We'll mess with her. Absolutely, Eve. We'll do some light and savory. I know just the ticket for you. First of all, Eve loves beer, so we'll get as much of that as we can because we're trying to max out money. She cuts herself off, and then we can make some salad for her. Little Garfield joke. To the goat of all comic cats. And here, if you do this right, Eve will tell you a little story about herself. If you get her properly drunk and you give her food she likes. A little bit of a sad story. But we get to hear more about Eve, our local healer, who does all the healing here at the Wandering Wyrm. And that's our first day. That's our first day done. Hoping, I might have to hurry through this a little faster if we want to get done by 2. But maybe the stream will go long. That's okay with me. So now, get our first little set of outdoor dialogue. We can talk to Yeti. He just tells us nice job. We tell him we locked up. And over here we can talk to Eve. And this is one of the first areas of art I want to redo. This is literally just a large desk superimposed over the character so that they look like they're behind it. And I wanted to get rid of this little hand here. I don't really like that, but hey, it's only so much one dev can do. And I was working on a lot of more important features, I felt like, and that'll be fixed soon though. And we do a big outside dialogue update here pretty soon. Mainly wanted to focus on the in-tavern stuff for this first release. So the core story happens inside the tavern. There's a couple of elements outside, of course, but... So Eve is feeling a little nervous about this dungeon, despite the fact that there's just a couple goblins in there. So we're hoping that those fears aren't true, but we'll see tomorrow. And here is your little room. The room, you can unlock different stuff and put it around here. It's really sparse at the beginning, but as you progress through the game, you can fill it out and really make it feel more like a home. Go to sleep, and the next day. And here is a very important thing. Make sure you click this guy, unless you're going for the achievement where you don't visit him. Visit this on day 2. Visit this. So he's the grocer. You typically see him in town, but here you're able to buy groceries for the next 2 days. And I always just get at least one more dire boar roast setup, some honey bread, very needed. 2 honeys actually, and then we need the pasta, and we got enough hardtack, and then we also need garlic and ogre meat, and I believe that should be good. I don't think we need citrus and potatoes yet. Oh, and sugar. And fairy flour, that's definitely needed for this next section. We'll do... just to be safe, I'll do these. Day 1, or day 2 of Wandering Wyrm. See what Yeti wants today. I'm really excited for when we can finally purchase some music at the first dungeon. After the first dungeon. So he wants an ogre rib platter today, and I believe an ale. So we'll give him 2 ales. It's boss, you know. Gotta make sure he's happy. And then we will go ahead and make that ogre rib platter. So you grill one of these bad boys. And you stew up a nice little salty, garlicky roux. And there it is. Delicious looking ogre rib platter. He pays us a nice sum for that. A little gold in the bank. Oh, I could go for a nap. I was so tired this morning. I got about 5 hours of sleep last night, which is honestly good for a lot of people. And I recognize that being able to work from home gives me a pretty nice life. But still, 5 hours of sleep for me is not a lot. And good night, Yeti. We'll see you later. Now to talk to Merlin. Merlin is the local scry. He basically, his job is to scout dungeons for people, and knowing the dungeons that are coming ahead, he prepares potions in advance for them and sells those potions to people going in. Now again, as the bartender, you don't really get to go into the dungeon or see what's happening. You kind of just see everything from the perspective of someone working at a bar. But I do know that Merlin likes fire wine, but we'll give that to him a little bit later. So I want to go through and see the longest dialogue. Don't worry, if you didn't understand that sentence, neither do we. We'll figure out what that all means. I'm sure in chapters 4 through 6, maybe even 7 through 9. But that's fine, you know? We have a lot of stuff planned for how the story's going to take shape. A bit of it's inspired, to give some hints, by Undertale, certainly. That's true, but that's because we were there to give him advice, Merlin. Exactly. Normally I do too, but in the case of running a bar, you know, you gotta have some empathy. Alright, now we give him plenty of beer. Nice. Go. Now this is a little cheat code you can do. You get Merlin drunk enough to embarrass himself. And he'll give you a little tip to thank you for your services as a therapist. 12-year-old knight, though. Granted, you know, he's a pretty brave little kid. There we go. There's the tip. Thank you, Merlin. Of course, don't worry. We'll just say nothing here, because then we can still feed him. Again, we're going for the most gold in a playthrough to hit that 1,000 gold achievement. It's pretty easy to get 250, it's pretty easy to get 500. 1,000 gold in 3 dungeons is genuinely kind of hard to save up. And there we go. There's the Merlin very drunk image that I've grown to love. Merlin is someone who likes sweet things, so let's do honeyed bread loaf. I think salted caramel is cheap. We'll do the honeyed bread loaf. It's worth a little bit more, so we can make a little bit more money. Get that off, and nice. And he's feeling a little better with that bread. Okay, so with that, we get to meet Cayenne. He's a known shapeshifter and voice changer, which allows him to be a bard that can sing a variety of different tunes and songs. We had to come up with some way to allow him to basically be a jukebox, and I felt like that made the most sense given the universe. He's looking for something jazzy. Now, what is jazzy, folks? Well, I think a salad is jazzy, but you don't have to ask me. It's right there in the cookbook. So we'll make him a Pixie Power salad. Oh, I should explain this button here, the auto make dish, but we'll do that in a bit. So he likes that, and then we also want to give him his favorite drink, which is mead. No, just kidding. It's ale? Nope, definitely not. Beer? Perfect. Perfect. Wonderful. Okay. And there we go. Nailed the jazzy flavor. Cayenne's appreciating us. And we can get a little extra gold here, because he wants us to get some new sheet music for him. Now, if you're going for the 1,000 gold playthrough, I wouldn't buy the sheet music yet. I mean, later you can certainly do it once we have more dungeons to get through. But today, I'm going to be buying only my favorite song if it shows up. Yes, I would like to hear Legends. Alrighty. Listen to this for a bit. This Kane's coming right now. He's alive! Thankfully, that's... You just have to serve him good food and make sure he's drunk enough to listen to your advice to keep him alive, but... I'm always happy to see he's alive. I like Kane, as I said, one of my favorite characters we've built out here. Here's Eve, letting him know he's supposed to stay in her tent. And Jerry suggests fire wine, which he needs for the wounds, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to give him plenty of fire wine, and then some mead, which is his favorite drink. We'll get him up to max alcohol and max gold for us. Also, you don't want to cross this. You don't want to cross this little threshold up here because they will pass out, and then you can't serve them food. But the other thing that he likes is dire boar roasts, so we'll make him another one of those. Once again, you can do custom dishes for all of this, but you tend to make more money right now if you do the cookbook dishes, especially early on. There are ways to make more with custom dishes if you can make the ingredient, if you can combo it right, but nice. It is arguably much funnier when you feed him something like a bland, poorly cooked water salad, because reading that, in my opinion, is a lot more funny, but again, going for the high gold here. Alright, day 2 done. Look at that, we've already finished that shift off. Took us about 10 minutes to get through that, so looks like we might be able to finish this game before the end of the 2 o'clock stream. Today, who do we need to talk to? Is this Cayenne? Oh, it's Jerry. It's Merlin telling us about his abysmal sales. And he tells us about his pricing theme, his pricing scheme. 200% if you're near a dungeon, 500% if you're in one. There we go, and we can get the news for today. There's a new dungeon. Low to mid-level creatures. Once again, you get your music sheets at Mystic Mike's. And then a little bit of just fun news. We'll do day 3. And here we get to meet Terry, the other bartender. She runs the morning shifts while we're asleep in bed. And before we talk to her, we gotta make sure that she gets a healthy helping of alcohol as well. Her favorite is also mead. A little bit on top, a little extra. Oh, nope, can't give her any more. It's good for her, limiting herself. Here we get to meet, I think, my favorite character, who Terry is introducing us to. It's Pierre, the high-level adventurer. We have some fun stuff planned for him in the later chapters. For now, you just sort of get to meet him and draw your conclusions on whether he really is an adventurer or not, or whether he's just sort of, well, you'll see. I'm just gonna let Pierre do the talking. You guys can just witness and watch. A tiny village, of course. Of course. Whole village made up of tiny orphans. Yes. Of course, Pierre. Yes, the Mithril Mac. And a fire wine. Oh, always for the great patrons who come through the Wandering Wyrm. We want to make sure they get optimal service, so we offer them the figurine that comes with the Mithril Mac. And then we'll go ahead and give them that fire wine. And a little meat on top, you know, make that extra gold. And let's make some Mithril Mac. So Mithril Mac and cheese is pretty easy. Some pasta and cheese. And then over here, you plate some hardtack to go on the side and mix in. That gives us Mithril Mac. So if we click this little button, immediately send these to the tavern, which will automatically make the dish. But I kind of prefer this, so you can sort of see what you got. There we go. Just like Mother used to have the cooks make. Of course, Pierre, you are welcome. Let's offer him a song. I do, but unfortunately Cayenne does not yet know the Wandering Knight. He will learn it as soon as I can buy it from Mystic Bikes. Worry not, Pierre. Let's do Long Ago. Kind of like how that one sounds. Wonderful. And we get to see Kane. He's back. He's healed. He's good. He's alive. All those things we hope for Child Knights, of course. Their first dungeon. Maybe not the most success. But he's alive, and that's what matters, folks. Of course. Yeah, I think Jerry should try it out. You know, he seems to know enough. He could be a boon to a party with all his knowledge. But of course, he would never fight monsters. He would only research them. And now we permanently convinced Kane to stay away from all adventuring. Stefan is the guild master of the town we always visit. And so this is where Kane came from as well. Alright, he just wants some hardtack, but of course we like Kane, so we're gonna make sure he's nice and boosted up. One more ale. Oh no, he cuts himself off, good boy. And then, what can we give him that he'll like? Let's do some steak, I think. Or can we make a dire boar roast? He prefers that, I think. So we'll do the dire boar roast again for Kane. Instead of some hardtack. There, he's satisfied. And we get a little bit extra. Because, you know, he knows. He knows we know him. He knows we care. maybe you get to see Kane return as one of the bartenders after Terry heads off to college. Who's to say where the story would go, though? Other than the lead dev, of course. No hints, no spoilers there, I assure you. There is a new dungeon. It's time to go visit town for the first time. But before we do that, we're going to want to see the night booth. So you can get a chance to talk to this yet. And now we get a little hint as to the relationship betweve and Merlin. A little bit of a classic love line. They both like each other, but thank you for tuning in, Brian. Appreciate it. Yeah, Spear is over the top in the greatest way possible. But anyways, what I was talking about. So Eve and Merlin sort of don't know they like each other. They do know they like each other in a way. And you get to kind of see that progress throughout the story as they both just sort of get a hold of themselves and figure out what's important, you know? There we go. Let's go to the next day. And little hint for you folks, if you want to unlock an extra song after you've served the jazzy dishes, go ahead and talk to... You're going to want to talk to Cayenne when he appears. I believe I missed it already. I think it was on the morning of day 3. But that's okay. So now we're in town for the first time, and the first stop is always Mystic Mike's. I don't want any of these. Trinket Shop Reggae is not bad. This is a little loud for me. It's a good song, don't get me wrong. This is one of my favorite songs. But it's really expensive, and we need to buy groceries. So we're gonna get Trinket Shop Reggae. And now we get to visit the real grocery store for the first time. He's happily here, he's alive. Get a little bit. I like to get about 2 of just about everything, except for the expensive stuff. You do need 2 of these for the next section, and 2 of these. At least 1 for sure, maybe 2. I'm gonna get 2, just to be safe. Do some more boar meat if we need. A couple of extra onions. And carrots. Definitely need the pepper. A lot of sugar. A lot of salt. Salt's a nice fallback. Got plenty of those. Definitely need salad. Big help. Cake mix. We'll need 2 of those. Pasta. 2 of those. Cheese. At least 1. I'll get 2. And a serpent. Perfect. Now we get to go to our first minigame. After we talk to Stefan, of course. He is lucky to be alive. He had no experience, and he went into a dungeon by himself. Alright, and let's turn on... Hold on. It's getting loud. Tone that down a bit. Let's turn on this so I can just show this off. So, the top itch donator was some... honestly, there's some friends of mine. We're the Colsons. And what does this message mean? They donated $28.83. Well, 2883 is the number for our first robotics team, which is also named Fred. So I decided to call the top itch donators Wishing Well, the Memorial Wishing Well. Now, if you want to appear in the 4 through 6 update when we release that in 3 or 4 months when we're done with chapters 4 through 6, you can go over to Itch and donate as well to the game, and we will include your message, your name, here if it beats the Colson's donation. As sad as I would be to see that go, just wanted to let you guys know that's a little way to get into the game. And please don't donate like an insane amount. $28 is already crazy to me. Obviously, we appreciate everything, but I'm sure everyone has more important stuff to do than donate to a random indie game. And if it goes above a certain threshold, I'm just going to start listing everyone who donated that much in the credits. So yeah, just wanted to know why that's there and a little bit of history there, and also how you can get your name into the game. So time to play Flappy Dragon. I'm going to attempt to play this while we're watching the cutscene, so that you guys get the true cinematic experience. Now, did we just take the beer icon and make it into the pipes? Yes. This art here is the old, it's from the old game logo. Like when we were first making the game, we used this little dragon image as our logo, and I just felt like it was cute to include it in Flappy Dragon, and it looks pretty good. You know, I want to give him some flapping effects at some point, and maybe clean up the art here, but I don't know. I think the jammed together look is very much intentional at the moment, and I certainly enjoy it. And we get to listen to Jerry, or read what Jerry's reading out of his little dungeon book. So one of the harder achievements to get in the game is a hidden achievement, and you get it by getting 100 coins in Flappy Dragon. It's called Flappy Legend. Of course, you can show the achievement spoilers if you... So sorry for that if that's a spoiler there. But this is some Flappy Dragon gameplay. Now, where... Oh! I was looking over at my other screen for a second. Oh, there we go. And we're back home. The dragon survived. He's a great worm. Obviously, he can take a fall. Right here is a Serby. To talk to Merlin. Good question, Merlin. One I've often wondered myself. True enough, Jerry. Indeed, enough chit-chat. We'll see you later, Merlin. And time for day 1 of Dungeon 1, where we get to meet 2 more adventurers. I'm gonna go ahead and disable these for now. Sally and Doug.
Oh?
Yes, I am, Sally. Oh, I just realized I forgot to buy nuts for Sally's request. That's okay. Can't go back now. Sounds good. fire wine, and 1 ale for the lady. Give her that. Give him that. Give her a couple more. Why not, you know? Of course, Druid's pastry. Now I already know I can't make that one, so that is unfortunate. Oh yes, Trinket Shop Reggae. Beautiful queue time. What a time to queue it too, Cayenne, I gotta say. As we come into... Oh, yep, there we go. I should have bought those. What a mistake, you know? I think, though, Sally will still do... What are the flavor profiles of this? Sweet and savory. I think Sally still likes savory. So we're gonna go ahead and find... I believe chicken salad is savory. Yes. Go ahead and make that for her. I think she'll still like it. And as for our friend Doug, I'm going to try out ogre and mushroom sauce. So we can go ahead and make that. He's a fan of... I don't know if he's a fan of these items, but we'll see. It's his favorite dish. Let's go. And she liked the chicken salad too. Nice. 2 satisfied customers. We do. Technically. Ogre, I would say, is monster. No, I have not. This is amazing. Indeed. Sally, good luck in the slime dungeon. And Eve has appeared again. What does she want? Beer and chicken salad. Oh boy, do we have enough? Do you have enough salad mix? Oh, good. Easy there. We give her some beer. Right up to the top. Maybe a little too much. It's okay. Eve will forgive us. Tell us more, Eve. Well, we'll find out where Merlin was a little bit later, what exactly he was doing when we play our second mini-game. Don't worry, he would never avoid you. I would also ask tomorrow. I think he'll have coffee. Yes, of course. Here you go. And she passed out. That's unfortunate. Well, I gave her a little too much alcohol. Probably should have given her that water there at the end. You get this chest when you beat the first dungeon. This is the first little piece of artwork you get in your room, or I guess furniture. That's the word. Furniture in your room. And my favorite thing that we've added in this last update, one of my favorite things, is the changing scenery at every town. Because now you see the dragon sort of covered in his little slime. Because we're by the slime dungeon. You know? Well, I wonder what we're going to have to deal with. And let's see what's going on over here. Yes, I did, Merlin. And he's back. And notably, he has his hat, so... Lore accurate Merlin is a badass, and you'll see why when we get to the minigame. Alrighty, Day 2, Dungeon 2, and you can already see we got some shady characters in here. Well, we have a little bit of a legal problem here. Yes, he did, Jerry. He's Devin Gargoyle. We're gonna gargoyle. Attorneys at law. Will we now, Devin? What if I make you some food and drinks? Alright, let's make the basilisk bites first because they are not easy. So if you go here, you'll see basilisk bites require some grilled basilisk. Now, how do you make grilled basilisk? Well, you first do this little maneuver, and you grill it, and then you click Make into Ingredient. And now if we scroll down here, you can see Viola, we have some grilled basilisk. So now we can make this. So we're going to go ahead and take the grilled basilisk, give it a nice little breading layer, plate it with some honey, and there we go, a perfect basilisk bites ready to serve. And the next bit that we're going to have to go through is going to be... interesting. Let's see. Yep, I didn't think I could add that. Good to see that didn't work. Little visual glitch there. Note that down. Write that down in the logs. Anyways, and then let's see if I can make Dragon's Lair lasagna. Oh, yes, we can make them both. Okay. I was a genius, and I planned for this at the grocer, knowing what these guys would want. This is one of the better dishes to make if you can. We go because it's worth so much. As you can see there, 58 gold and 45, and then we'll give him his fire wine that he asked for. And we'll give him his mead. Does he want ale instead? No. Does he want beer instead? All right, this guy is just absolutely refuses good service. We'll give him one more. Alright. As you can see, not injured, folks. How's that going to hold up in court? We got him caught in 4K, or 64-bit. None of that gold is for helping your friend out, by the way, Devon. It's all straight to my pockets as the chief proprietor for groceries here. I need that to go to town and get more lasagna and basilisk bites. Nice. Thank you, Yeti. Always helping the worm in various ways. Getting us out of legal battles. And plus he has new bones. Like he drank milk every day. You know, I can't complain about that. A little bit of pain for strong bones. You know, you gotta know if you've read the joke 100 times. And you chuckle a little bit, it's still okay. It's gotta be good at that point. little fast for anyone who's trying to read this. Feel free to let me know in the chat. But I am going to hurry up here so we can get through this. So we still have a little bit of Q&A at the end of the session. A little 15-minute wind down. Also, just wanted to mention, the game is 89 cents. So, it's an hour and a half of content, priced at about 30 cents per hour. Or about 50 cents per hour, I guess. Which I feel is pretty fair for entertainment these days. Definitely replayable in the sense that I imagine if you go in blind, you're going to have a lot more trouble than I am serving the right dishes, so you'll get new dialogue. I totally forgot what he wanted. Pretty sure he wanted fire wine, though. Cheese in. One more. Beautiful. This is my single favorite character model in the entire game, Stefan, mildly drunk. Let's, what did he even ask for? Something spicy? Something... Amber fruit gazpacho, that's right, that's what he loves. So we'll stew up a little bit of amber fruit, a little bit of tomato. We'll plate it with some raw onions and garlic. There we go. Nice. Another W for Jerry. Mmm. The next time we do a little live stream, I'll probably include a camera so you can watch me go through it. Didn't want to get that set up today, as I was more so worried about streaming and bit rates and all that stuff. Didn't want to put anything extra on there, just to make sure it's a clean experience. And I wanted to give a full view of the game, of course. But next time, maybe you'll get to see my face. Of course, Stefan. Always happy to serve the Guildmaster. Alright, let's keep going here. Good questions, Jerry. You never know. And day 3. Let's check the news. So I'm selling for all-time highs. Alright, Cobalt Dungeon next. What's over here? And here we learn that bone growth magic is no simple task. Also, you know, if we sent him to you, Eve, we wouldn't make the money for the bar, alright? Alright, and now, this is probably one of the harder achievements to get. The 4 dwarves. Hardy, 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 sweet, and sweet. Also, this is a good spot to farm some money off of these guys. We're going to give them Plenty of ale. Plenty of ale. Beautiful. And plenty of mead. Excellent. And for you, lady, you can have a water. Ah, yes, now the food. The food is next. Okay, so 3 steaks. We'll turn on auto make. Instantly make them here. We're looking for 3 hearty meals. Actually, let's do dire boar on the last guy just to mix things up a little bit. And then I need to figure out how the hell we're gonna get 2 sweets. Do we have enough sugar? Yeah, we do. Okay. Okay, this is gonna be. We got this in the bag. All right. So first guy gets his dire boar roast. Click on him. Make sure we got the right guy selected. There's our 3 hearties done, and now we can go ahead and grill some sugar, some salt, plate it with some salt. There we go, salted caramel bites. We'll do that again. So as you can see, the dishes kind of adjust on the auto make. So if I just plate some salt, we get some salty salt on a plate. But of course, once we add the caramelized sugar, we get some salted caramel bites. And now this can go to our 2 sweeties. He's a sweetie, and she's a sweetie. Excellent. And that is probably one of the harder achievements to get in the game, I would say. Getting all those meals right, remembering it for the dwarves. And you get to hear a little bit of their lore along the way when you do that. So she's meeting a great prince in their road to her 2 moons ago, declaring his love and asking for her assistance in getting his funds cleared through his country's customs so they could be together. Now we get to read that wonderful letter that he wrote for her. My dearest lady, I am Prince Caspian of Amalandia, where the trees bloom in colors of bright pink and purple, and the rivers run a cool, pale blue. However, I'm contacting you now due to a great deal of peril I'm in. I'm being held in my castle by a wizard who has gone mad. He's confined me to my chambers and said the only way he will let me go is if I give him 5,000 of my gold pieces. Alas, my treasure is locked in my second, even bigger castle. Lady, if you could come and give me the 5,000 pieces to free me, I wish for us to rule, side by side together, with all my riches over all of our kingdom. You and me, forever basking in the lavender and rose-hued sunset as we grow old together. Hurry, love. Yours truly, Prince Caspian. And isn't he such a romantic there, folks? There we go, 4 dwarves successfully done. And we can keep going with our little adventure. I believe it's town visit time? Yes. Oh, perfect. I needed to talk to Eve here for a later dialogue option. I miss this all the time. Nice. So now we have all the ammunition we need to convince Merlin to learn lightning. And we're going to learn why that might be useful here, but first let's check if our favorite song's in. It is not. I don't mind Heroes Never Die though, pretty good song. And let's get a dining table for the room, you know, add a little bit of ambiance. And now we need to buy groceries again. I'm just going to get 2 of everything. just make sure we're nice and set up for this next one. And plenty of sugar. 2 potatoes, 2 onions, definitely need the nuts. 2 peppers, 2 pickles. Just really loading up. We made plenty of money, so honestly we'll do a little extra of that. Cake mix never hurts. Lunar Lotus is actually used in a couple dishes that I'd like to try out on our patrons later here. 2 of that, 2 of that, 1 more of these, 2 more of these. A little bit of chicken, a bit of dire boar. Get 1 extra of these just for that. Fairy flour never hurt nobody. Alright, I think that's everything. Did I click on everything? Nope. There we go. Alrighty. Talk to Stefan before we head out of town. And head out of town. Time for minigame 2. So this is what Merlin was up to when he was out of town. When he was first investigating that dungeon. Turns out he just lost his hat. And this was a little mini game I made in like 1 afternoon. So it's not, you know what, I think it's incredible, to be honest. It's very fun. It's also quite challenging. I have certainly practiced this. You can also bop the slimes like that. Like this. Should we have just made this the whole game? Let me know. I honestly don't. So first we activate the boss, and then the best strategy I've found, which is kind of lame, is to just sit and camp here, blocking his fireballs with yours, and when he spawns in close, you go for him. So he can spawn on any of these pillars. Oh god. Please spawn close. No! No! Well, Merlin's Madness is, it's not an easy minigame. And if you lose, don't worry. You can always reset and retry, but we're going to keep going. And there you go. We are back at the room. You can see our wonderful dining table that we purchased, and pretty soon we're going to be able to listen to Heroes Never Die. And here is Kobold's Kingdom. Welcome to Dungeon 3 and Chapter 3 of the Wandering Wyrm. There we go. Unfortunately, Jerry doesn't really take jokes well. And let's go ahead and go through Day 1, Dungeon 3, where we get to see Terry again. She's always a little angry until you give her an ale. Let's make sure we get her plenty of ale, maybe a mead. Nice. If you didn't know, you can always give them drinks while you're talking to them, like this. Of course, Terry. Anything for our fellow barkeeper. Let's get her something sweet to eat. I think today we're gonna really treat her to something nice. We're gonna do an Elven Mooncake. This is a pretty simple recipe. You just bake it. Gonna definitely be reworking a lot of these recipes because I'm realizing a lot of them you just kind of shove into one thing. But not all of them, but the ones that I tend to use. Maybe that's because, well, they're easier to make. but also could do with some more complexity, I think, in the cooking in general, including some mini games and stuff. But I am pretty happy with the foundation that we have, especially the custom system. Of course, Yeti, and something you know I like. So first we're going to start out by getting him the most booze we can possibly fit in that little cat and making him his favorite meal, which is the Dragon Slayer lasagna. Excellent. Almost 100 gold there. Actually, definitely 100 gold with the ale we got served. Of course, Yeti. The ancient manifesto. Oh, and here is Heroes Never Die.
Old heroes never fade away, they just get grumpier every day. Whiskey breath and dusty boots.
Now Merlin comes in, complaining to us about his favorite spell, Fireball.
Pointy ears and pointy arrows, sharp steel and eyes narrow. He shoots, he aims, he hits, never misses his targets. Ranger's cloak and elven bow, none of said to truly know.
We'll fix him up some food, give him plenty of wine.
Whiskey breath and dusty boots, still kicking up ancient roots.
Just to the cusp.
Years ripe, smoking on his pipe. He babbles nothing sensical.
So yeah, you can come here. You can hit play, pause it. You can do next. All right, there we go. And Merlin also likes Elven Mooncake, so that's where we got the second Lunar Lotus from. Go ahead and make him another little copy of that. Beautiful. Now, of course, he denies it. Fire magic is the only magic a wizard with self-respect would learn. But we have some extra ammunition to convince him.
Ranger's cloak and elven bow, none have said to truly know. Old heroes never fade away, they just get grumpier every day. Whiskey breath and dusty boots, still kicking up ancient roots. The man in years ripe, smoking on his pipe. He babbles nothing sensical.
Excellent. We've convinced Merlin to learn a second spell. And was that day 1? Day 2? I can't remember. I believe day 1. And we're just about getting to the end of the game. We got 1 or 2 more days left. Oh, no, we still have to serve Pierre, who comes in on day 2. And here we get to learn about Cindy Hotz. Sorry, I kind of skipped through that. You can go view that later. Let's start with some mead for our man. top it off with a beer. You know what they say? Liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Mead, if you didn't know, is honey wine. Probably my favorite drink as well. I'm a little biased. I think I gave it to too many people as their favorite drink as well. So we'll probably tune that. And some balancing updates to come. And here we have to give Pierre a second entry, of course. Oh, and I've already realized that Pierre's going to be disappointed with whatever we cook because we're not going to get his pairing correct. He wanted fire wine. We'll be uploading the full playthrough on YouTube as well. Once we get there, you know, so you can come back and watch, get some more tips on making good money. Now, he wants Wyrm's famous creme brulee, which we can't make, but thankfully, I know he likes Mithril Mac, so we'll make him some of that. So at least we got something to serve to Pierre here. But no matter what we do, he's going to be disappointed because we didn't give him the fire wine he asked for. We gave him like a billion helpings of mead. But we do get to learn about his family chef. To learn of more of Pierre's heroic exploits. I'm a little sad we never got to purchase his song. So random rolls over at Mystic Mike's, you never know what you're going to get. So it makes every playthrough a little different, especially with the music that you can get on the playthrough and the furniture you can unlock. Ideally, by the end of the playthrough, you'll have access to everything, but... We get to learn about the kobolds and their wicked wrestling empire. Well, and we always gotta challenge him. Make sure, but of course, you know, ask for it back. And it's super dangerous down there, so we wouldn't want to go.
He yells, he curses, he bites. Never lost a bar fight.
Of course, Pierre. Always nice to see you in as well. Heroes never fade away. They just get grumpier every day. Whiskey breath and dusty boots. You don't have to let him know that, Yeti. We're all about compassion here on Wandering Wyrm. You don't have to call him out like that. Alright, and we're on to the final day of the game. We're just about through the whole game here. We'll click to go to sleep, our final night, and chat with the patrons outside. And we can talk to Merlin, who's had some successful sales. And we get to theorize on a dungeon party spawning system as well. And here is the D&D party.
He shoots, he aims, he hits. Never misses his targets. Ranger's cloak and elven bow. None of
He tells us all about his deity, the sky crab.
old heroes never fade away. They just get grumpier every day. Whiskey breath and dusty boots.
Which, by the way, the sky crab in our universe is, well, you know, you can see the logo on Duke's chestplate there. It's clearly the sky crab. So they all want some alcohol, but we gotta make sure to serve them appropriately, so we'll give him some fire wine. As you know, tieflings, they love their fire. We'll give him some wine. He's a bit of a fancier dude. Make sure he's nice and boozed up as well. And for our little druid / ranger, she just needs a little bit of ale. Don't want to get her too much. And for a patron of the sky crab, we're always going to want some water. Nice. Happy customer. Happy customer. And of course, you know, paladins, you gotta swear off that alcohol. But wizards, you know, use it to inspire some more spell creation. And a perfect pour for our ranger, who doesn't want to get too drunk, as she always has to be on the lookout for other threats. I'm sorry, Duke, but I unfortunately love crab legs, so I'm gonna have to say no. Of course, the big ocean with the sky crab. Alright, let's see what we can do for our new patrons. And the fighter is left, as fighters often do, due to a family event. Well... Yes, now I have to remember your meals. Give me just a second. Gamey, seafoody, berry salad. Alright, we'll start with the seafoody, see if we can make it. Sea serpent pickles should work, but I think fire serpent stew is better. Yes. Okay, this is a big one. Thankfully it's pretty easy to make. Just throw a bunch of stuff in the pot. Make the stew. Alright, the next one is our fairy salad. Let's see if we can get... Oh no, we don't have the lunar lotus required. I think he'll still take pixie power. So hopefully he likes that. And then... Druid's Nutty Pastry for our ranger. Bit of cake mix in there, salad mix on the side, and Viola, we have ourselves our 3 meals. So we start by serving him. Wonderful. Get our druid served, our ranger served, I mean, and get our wizard served. Nice. Yes, it does. You're welcome, Mr. Wizard. And we knew she'd love it. We knew she'd love that Druid's Nutty Pastry. He loved his fire serpent stew as well.
Still kicking up ancient rules. 20 years and pointing arrows, sharp steel and eyes narrow. He shoots, he aims, he hits.
Obviously, this group is inspired by D&D sessions, many D&D sessions we've had where a party member has to leave early. And our first major story beat is happening right at the end of Chapter 3.
Manic eyes and knowing grin where he's been, no one knows within.
He seems nice enough. We'll let him stick around. Yes, of course. We'll make it 3 times. 3 times the size. We'll do this one. 3. And then a mead. Finish it all off. Talk to him again. Of course, you're welcome, but are you 3 kobolds and fish cook? You know what? My bad. I'll let it slide. Yeah. Of course, it's probably based on the brewery location. That makes sense. Suspicious. You know, Yeti thinks they're fine. I can't see any weapons on them. Of course, sure thing, coming right up. So, our last thing we need is something nice and sweet. We'll do Yeti's sticky pastry. Oh, what wonderful, sweet and heavy. Should I be feeding monsters ogre meat? You know what? It's okay. They're fine. They make do down there in those dungeons, don't they? A little bit of a moral dilemma, but I'm sure he likes it. Well, that's okay. You know, we can't. Can't always predict the future. It's good to know he doesn't like. It's good to know he doesn't like eating ogres. Yes, of course. He jumps into a few chairs and stuff as he leaves. But we're not going to get that final cutscene. So we went down the path of not getting the letter from the kobolds. What about them? I did. His axe swings disaster. He yells, he curses, he never lost a bar fight. Alright, Yeti. I know what you're like. You blink before you even start to think. Old heroes never away, they just get hungrier every day. Whiskey breath and I did, but I don't think Jerry did.
Still kicking up ancient rules.
No problem. And that is the final day, Dungeon 3, final day of Chapter 3. Chapters are just, we call them dungeons, but they are chapters to most people. And as you can see, we have 670 gold, and we've spent roughly 400. So we have surpassed the 1,000 gold limit if you're playing through. And that, there you go. That's how you get that achievement. You know, just gotta serve customers good stuff. Let's check out the news before we go. Superstar Sorcerer Cindy Hotz is here. Alright. And on to the end of the game. So, obviously you can still visit Mystic Mike's. We'll get the mantle, you know, for when we come back. And we need to buy groceries. Oh boy. I wonder if we'll have enough money. That's plenty of salt, a little more sugar, one more of these, one more of these, one more of these, 2 of these, some potatoes, we need salad, we definitely need the lunar lotus. Alright, that should be good. Alright, yep, I'm feeling confident. And for the final little cutscene of the game before we close off the stream. As you can see, Jerry sees the kobolds a little differently than Yeti did. They're a little bit dangerous in his mind. And this is Guildmaster Stefan, freshly shaved. And he starts to write us back. Well, if you want to see the other cutscene, I guess you'll just have to play through the game yourself and figure out what the kobolds like. And that is the end of Dungeons 3.
Come gather close and fill your cups and let the fire burn warm. I'll plug a tune for those who roam through shadow, steel and storm. For I watched the doorway swing on hinges old and firm, and seen 1,000 different souls within the Wandering Wyrm. Some faces I have known for years, like oak that will not bend. Scarred hands wrap around a dented mug with tales that never end.
End of the game, baby.
Their armor patched with careful thread, their laughter low and stern. They've buried friends in nameless crypts, then staggered to the world.
Gonna turn down this desktop audio a bit so you can listen to that music in the background.
There's fresh ones too,
There, turn it down just a bit. But yeah, that is our playthrough of Wandering Wyrm. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'll be sticking around for just about 10 minutes here if anyone has any questions. And we get to listen to this wonderful song that was written by a friend of mine, actually. Once again, well, that is the end of the stream. I'm just going to sit here in the menu. Sorry for the people who are just tuning in. We've just played through the entire game. If you have any questions, I'm here to talk for the next 10 or so minutes before I close that stream and end the event. We're going to go a little bit, a little less long than that 2-hour, 10-minute mark. But there you go. That's about, how long was that total? We played through the game in about 1 hour and 40 minutes. So My 1 hour and a half mark was pretty spot on. Obviously, I'm clicking a lot faster than you might, and I do skip through some of the dialogue, so we're aiming for about the 2 hour mark for the average player their first time through, and I think we've done a good job of hitting that. But let me know if it's slower for you guys, faster for you guys, and what ending you get. You know, what you think of those final ending cutscenes. Just gonna chat a little bit here. Let people know what's going on. Maybe we won't get any questions, and I'll just sit here staring at our main menu for 10 minutes, but that's fine. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who tuned in. We got up to 10 viewers, you know. That's I'm happy with that. As you can see, the game loaded in here, though. We are 30% of the way through. That's the goal for that final chapter. We've served a total of 28 dishes, 28 customers. Our current goal is 86. And we've reset no times. That's a big one. Um, and the trust factor for us is 99. Very nice. So those are the stats you can sort of use to grade your run. The main thing here is resets happen every time you exit the game without there. How many endings are there? There are two. Current endings, there are two endings. Um, in the future, we plan to have about 4 possible paths you can get down, and the branches will split at the end of Chapter 3, probably, at the end of Chapter 6. And then finally, at the very end of the game, there's a couple things you can do to orchestrate a separate ending. In addition to that, we're going to have anywhere from 10 to 20 different sub endings with the characters. We're hoping to have quite a few different, just small little cutscene endings at the end, so you can see how their lives turned out after it's all over. And that'll be people like Eve will have a sub ending, Merlin will have a sub ending, Yeti will have a sub ending. The people that are kind of regulars. We might do one for Kane, we might not. We might do one for Terry. Um, Depending on the characters, likely we'll do one for Terry, depending on whether she goes to college or not. Um, Thank you for that question. We also get to listen to every single iteration and change um, of the main menu music here. So one thing I'm thinking about, we have this today's specials sign up here. I feel like maybe we should do a specials like that you can set yourself, you know, to influence people to want to buy that, or add some customers in between here and there that aren't talking customers. They're just paying customers that want to come in and eat some food. Simple dialogue for them. Sort of spot them in throughout the story with some random art and some food preferences that they'd like. Just still sitting here waiting for so many more questions. Got about 5 minutes left till I close out the stream and call it a day. I hope you guys are all had a wonderful Independence weekend. I did. I had a good time. There's a fireworks show I would have liked to hit, but I still got some fireworks left, so I'll have to shoot those off now. I've been working pretty hard on this game all weekend. That final credits there, the thank you Haley for the 2 a.m. work nights, or putting up with my 2 a.m. work nights. Well, that happened last night, so I was up till 2. So once again, thank you for putting up with me staying up so late. And to everyone watching and listening, I hope you guys enjoy the game. I hope when you play through it, you have your own little story you can think about. Um, you have your own favorite characters, and I'd love to see what the community thinks of these various characters and just what they think of the game too, obviously. Put a lot of work into it. I know it's an AI generated art game, and you can clearly see we just cut out a lot of that art with with Paint 3D of all things. Uh, that's what we use to do a lot of the cutouts. And I am by no means an artist. I am a coder. I'm currently doing a couple of projects, um, but I'm not much of an artist. I've been brushing up on my art skills here and there as I have to fix up some of the very bad AI artifacts on some of the generated images to make them a lot nicer. And so there is some real handcrafted art in there by me, um, but mostly it's just pieces of the characters that didn't look good that had to be changed up. Pretty soon, one of the main things that frustrates me about the art at the moment is the outlines on a lot of the characters have this sort of white sheen around them, a little white outline. And again, that comes from using a very basic cutout tool to get these characters out there and not being able to generate with a proper transparent background, as that seems to be relatively impossible for the AIs that we are have employed for our service. So I sort of go through and we're going to need to go back through and either get rid of all of those little white outlines, or maybe redo the art, regenerate the art with a service like Pixel Lab that does them a bit better, or is able to actually make the transparent backgrounds. Or more ideally, as I mentioned before, we'd really love to get an actual artist on our team to just do all this art, so we can pay someone to make some human-made art. Unfortunately, that depends greatly on how well the game does. I don't really have much of a budget for this thing. I'm hoping to just at least get back the green light fee for the game. But yeah. So once again, if you're just tuning in, we're just doing some Q&A for the next couple minutes. We'll be closing the stream here in about 3 minutes. So if you have any questions you want to ask about the game, about the dev process, um, about the future of the game, where we're heading, feel free to ask those now. The stream will be closing pretty soon here. If you want to go check out the game on itch, you can check that out on Wandering Wyrm. There's a free demo you can play as well. So you don't have to pay the 89 cents if you don't want to. If you want to play the demo first, go ahead, go over there to itch. All traffic, all feedback, we really appreciate anything you want to give, really. Whether it's your time, your comments, your thoughts, your prayers, whatever. Let's go through the tutorial. I haven't even played this tutorial in a while. Let's do that once. I guess we can go back through this. We'll just watch this one more time while we do this Q&A. Once again, we're doing a little bit of a, if you can predict what images we used here to base these off of when we were building the new cutscene, the new intro cutscene art. Love for you guys to figure that out. This one is actually a little hint. It's actually from a community artist that's using that made sort of a free little graphic for use with D&D campaigns. This one is actually not based on anything. I just liked the art, and we kept it. So there's one checked for you guys. Maybe you can find the art that would match this the most. And, we can say we based it off of that. Of course, this one, as we've already mentioned, is based on Napoleon crossing the Alps. Very iconic painting, and you can clearly see the similarities there. But this one is based on a famous sort of cityscape art that was sort of post-Renaissance era. So not very early art, but once again, maybe you can figure out what this one was. I think it'd be hard to kind of figure that out. But for a good practiced eye, same with this one. This is some American West art. You can see the inspiration drawn from teepees, of course. So maybe that'll give you a hint as to what art we used to base this on. And finally, now this one I think is going to be tough. It's an old pre-Renaissance painting, or Renaissance painting, I can't quite remember. But I would say the obvious bit of this one is on the left-hand side. And the rest of this is sort of unrelated. Well, that has been the end of our Q&A session. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you guys check out the Wandering Wyrm. You play through it yourself. You get your own little story going. I'll be sitting here for just another minute while I finish, give my little handoff to the stream. I hope you guys try out the game. You know, it's less than $1. There's plenty of customizability. There's some fancy music. We'll be coming out with a soundtrack here pretty soon for the game. That's gonna just be free along with the game when you purchase it. You can play that and use it on Steam. There's 21 collectible achievements. Most are relatively easy. Some are very hard. I'm really curious to see as the game gets more players, as people try the game out, what achievements actually do get done. I wonder if anyone's going to beat Merlin's Madness other than myself. It's intentionally very hard to beat Merlin's Madness, so don't feel bad if you failed at your first time. And you can always reset. You don't have to hit end, and you don't have to play all the way back to Merlin's Madness. You can always reset and go back. So just a little pro tip there if you want to keep trying Merlin's Madness to beat it. Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been our welcome stream to the Wandering Wyrm. I'll go through this tutorial one time, make sure this is still working. I didn't actually test this last night, but I've tested it many times, so I'm pretty confident that it works. Brian, the second dev, did test it. Nice, nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Click here, click stake. Oh, there's a the art's a little off there. Just noticed that one. There's like an overlay stake button that you click on, and it's supposed to be perfectly lined up. But it was not. I believe that only happens though on the ultra wides. There we go. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been our full playthrough of the Wandering Wyrm, plus the tutorial at the end there. I hope you guys check out the game. Think about buying it. It's only 90 cents. Or if you don't want to buy it, head over to our itch.com page at Wandering Wyrm on itch.com. Download the demo. Give that a try. We're just looking for plenty of feedback to make the game as good as we can. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good rest of your Tuesday.